Somewhere along the way, we collectively decided that being clean is a full-time job. Not in a dramatic way, just a quiet agreement that if you stop doing certain things for even one day, you've failed as a person. And the weird part is, most of those things don't really do what we think they do. They just feel responsible. Like this seems correct, so nobody questions it, which is impressive, considering how many of these habits are held together by vibes and a mild fear of being judged in public. So if this sounds uncomfortably familiar, you can like the video. And subscribe too, if you want more reminders that your daily routine is quietly betraying you. Habit 1, washing hands too quickly. Hand washing is one of those things everyone agrees is important, right up until the moment they're actually doing it. Then it becomes a 3-second splash, a vague memory of soap, and a confident walk away like something meaningful just happened. Which is interesting, because most of the work happens in the part people skip, the actual cleaning part. Germs don't leave because they're politely asked to. They need time and friction, which is why the whole 20 seconds thing exists. Not because it's fun, but because it's barely enough. Soap helps loosen things up, sure, but without scrubbing, it's basically just scented optimism. And antibacterial soap sounds intense, but in normal situations, it doesn't really outperform regular soap. It just makes people feel like they're doing advanced hygiene, while quietly encouraging bacteria to level up. Which brings us nicely to another habit that feels productive mostly because it's aggressive. Habit 2, shampooing hair every day. A lot of people treat daily shampooing like a moral obligation. Skip a day, and it feels like you've made a statement about discipline, or standards, or something. But your scalp didn't sign that contract. It produces oil on purpose, not as a prank. Those oils keep your hair and skin from drying out, and when you strip them away every single day, your scalp doesn't think, "Oh, cool, mission accomplished." It thinks we're under attack and starts producing more oil to compensate. That's how people end up convinced they have naturally greasy hair, when it's mostly just confused. If you stop washing daily, there's usually an awkward adjustment phase where things feel worse before they get better, which is where most people panic and go back. And yes, if you're sweating heavily or working in actual dirt, wash it. But for most people, skipping a day isn't rebellion, it's recovery. And if you think hair routines get intense, wait until skin gets involved. Habit 3, scrubbing skin until it burns. Somewhere along the way, tingling became a sign of success. If your skin isn't stinging a little, did you even clean it? And that logic makes sense emotionally because discomfort feels like effort. The problem is your skin isn't a countertop. The outer layer exists to protect you, and when you scrub it like you're trying to remove evidence, it doesn't appreciate the enthusiasm. Over-scrubbing and over-exfoliating damage that barrier, leading to dryness, irritation, breakouts, and the exact issues people were trying to fix in the first place. Those gritty scrubs that feel powerful can cause tiny tears you can't see but definitely feel later. Most dermatologists recommend exfoliating, occasionally, not daily, and cleansing gently the rest of the time, which sounds boring, because it is. But gentle routines work better long-term. Your skin doesn't need punishment. It already lives outside. Habit 4. Using mouthwash immediately after brushing. Mouthwash has incredible branding. It looks important. It tastes like consequences, and it convinces people that if they don't use it immediately after brushing, something bad is going to happen, preferably overnight. The issue is timing. When you brush, you're putting fluoride on your teeth, which is meant to hang out for a bit and do its thing. Rinsing right after, with certain mouthwashes, can wash a lot of that away, which is kind of like putting on sunscreen and then immediately power washing your face. Dentists usually suggest waiting a bit or using a rinse that actually works with fluoride instead of undoing it. Also, mouthwash has quietly become a stand-in for flossing, which it is not emotionally or scientifically prepared to handle. Your saliva already does a decent job managing bacteria on its own. Mouthwash is optional support, not the main character. Speaking of things people do more of just to feel extra clean. Habit 5, showering more than necessary. There's a strong belief that if one shower is good, 2 must be elite. Like you've unlocked a higher hygiene tier, but your skin doesn't experience it that way. Frequent showers, especially hot ones with strong soaps, strip away the lipid barrier that helps keep moisture in and bacteria out. Once that barrier gets compromised, skin dries out, gets itchy, and somehow feels less clean overall, which leads to more showering. It's a very committed loop. Dermatologists usually say once a day is plenty for most people, and even every other day can be fine depending on what you're actually doing. If you're sweating heavily, working out, or genuinely dirty, sure, shower again. But if you've been sitting at a desk all day, the second shower is mostly just undoing your body's attempts to stay balanced. And if showers are about control, ears are where that control really gets misplaced. Habit 6, cleaning ears with cotton swabs. Cotton swabs feel helpful. They're small, precise, and give the illusion that you're solving a problem deep inside your head. The problem is that earwax is not a mistake. It's supposed to be there. It traps dust and bacteria, and your ear canal slowly moves old wax outward on its own, like a very patient conveyor belt. When you stick a cotton swab in there, you're not cleaning. You're compacting, pushing wax deeper, closer to where it can actually cause issues. That's how people end up with blockages, irritation, and sudden hearing problems that require a professional to undo. ENT doctors have been saying for years that nothing smaller than your elbow should go in your ear, which humanity has politely ignored. If cleaning is needed, a warm cloth on the outside or doctor-approved drops are usually enough. Your ears do not want excavation. Habit 7. Infrequent washing of bed sheets. Bed sheets are one of those things people agree should be washed regularly, in theory. In practice, they get treated more like a long-term commitment. You don't think about them until something feels off, at which point it's already been a while. The thing is, humans shed an impressive number of skin cells every day, and a lot of them end up exactly where you sleep. Add sweat, natural oils, and dust mites having the time of their microscopic lives, and your bed slowly turns into a very quiet ecosystem. Nothing dramatic, but definitely active. Most experts recommend washing sheets weekly or every 2 weeks if you're not a heavy sweater. Waiting until they look dirty is like waiting for milk to curdle before checking the expiration date. At the same time, washing them constantly with harsh detergents can irritate skin and wear out fabric. The goal is consistency, not obsession. And finally, the habit that feels efficient but really just delays the inevitable. Habit 8, using deodorant instead of showering. Deodorant is great. It has a job and it does that job well. The issue is when it gets promoted to doing everyone else's job too. A surprising number of people treat deodorant like a full-body reset, as if a few strategic swipes can erase bacteria, sweat, and the entire context of the last day. Deodorant doesn't clean anything. It masks odor by interfering with the bacteria that cause smell. Antiperspirants go a step further by reducing sweat, but neither removes what's already there. So when someone skips a shower and reaches for deodorant instead, they're not solving the problem. They're covering it. Showering physically removes bacteria and dead skin cells, even if it's quick and slightly inconvenient. Deodorant is a helpful sidekick. It's just not the hero of the story. When you look at it all together, a lot of hygiene isn't really about health, so much as reassurance. We do these things because they feel like the correct response to existing as a human with a body, even when no one's totally sure what problem they're solving. And honestly, most of us aren't trying to be cleaner. We're just trying to avoid that vague anxiety that shows up when we don't follow the routine we've always followed. The funny part is how many of these habits stick around, not because they work, but because they're familiar and mildly comforting. So once you stop scrubbing, rinsing, and overcorrecting for a minute, everything feels mostly fine. And if that's uncomfortable, it's probably because the body is doing a lot of things without asking for input anyway. Like the truly unhinged stuff it gets up to every night while you're asleep, quietly handling survival behind the scenes, which is a whole other category of unsettling and somehow impressive behavior. We might as well keep going.